Michelle, you've built an amazing career at BDC and are involved in a lot of different activities in the innovation ecosystem. And BDC is a lot more visible than it's ever been. What's the roadmap look like?
Yeah, BDC is busier than it's ever been. And not just in my group, which is Strategic Investments in Women in Tech, but across the bank and across BDC Capital, which is the investment arm of the bank and where I spend my time. On the strategic investment side, we're really amping up our seed investment programs from the standpoint that we're actually taking a hard look at the ecosystem and where the accelerators are playing a better role, and aligning with the angel investors and the micro funds and trying to figure out where those top tier companies are coming from and putting more resources around those companies, capital and otherwise. So we're using that as a template, but really looking at how we're going to innovate ourselves so that we can stay abreast of what's happening in the tech community and make the investments and add not just the capital, but the other value-added support that these companies are going to need to not just stay here in Canada, but scale globally out of the gate.
So in your early entrepreneurial experience, what were some of the big lessons learned? I mean, I'm sure it wasn't a straight line up and to the right.
No, absolutely not. No, I actually didn't want to be an entrepreneur at the beginning. I wanted to be a doctor. I thought that was going to be where we were going to go. That was what everybody did. And so going into oil and gas and being an entrepreneur, I was actually following the footsteps of my dad. And the lessons really were around listening to advice of others. People would say to me, no, you should really not go there. The market doesn't want that. You need to pivot. And instead, I'd be problem solving. I'd be sitting there trying to figure out how to make it work. Exactly, as you do, right? And any good entrepreneur will try to figure out how to make it work. Sometimes the market doesn't want you to make it work. They want to go in a different direction. And so for me, the big lesson was, okay, stop that. They don't want that. And it's interesting because I'm just thinking about this now, but the same thing happened when I was trying to build a venture fund, the first one that I ever did. And we were 5 years too early for the market. Today,
there were not the availability of companies,
the companies and the capital.
And the capital wasn't there to make it happen.
The LPs thought we were crazy to be doing anything in energy technology. Now, if you look around, it's
all the rage.
Prolific, right?
Huge.
But we were 5-7 years too early, which is good in a way when you look back and you see the proliferation of funds and companies and kind of a coalescing of the ecosystem around that. And it's one of Canada's strengths to build upon.
Well, when you bring all of that now to BDC, Women in Tech Fund has got, I think, a pretty broad mandate to help close that gap. From all of your experience in venture investing, how are we going to close the gap for female founders and really get them funded properly?
Well, I think the big thing is, getting them to get involved in technology companies.
Yeah, at the outset.
Take an interest in getting involved in tech companies. And just because you're not technology savvy doesn't mean that we don't need great leaders, great salespeople, good marketers, excellent financial folks. Like the teams that are being built around technology companies are diverse teams. So, getting women to think about technology companies and the entrepreneurial pathway as an opportunity set for them is key. And getting them into that, interested in those things early on is also essential. So they understand as they're going through university, like nobody told me when I was doing my science degree that I should become an entrepreneur and build a tech company. But I think now the landscape has changed sufficiently that that's, a movement.